What can you learn from 9 years of video production? Well, the good news is you are about to find out from Traci Richmond of the Meakem Group. Wait. Before we dive into the conversation with today's guest, welcome to The Real Finfluencers, a podcast born from our original video series spotlighting financial professionals who are using video to grow their business and their influence. Here's something you should know. Most of these guests aren't Idea Decanter clients. They've built their digital presence from the ground up, and they're here to share exactly how they did it. I'm your host, Laura Garfield, co-founder of Idea Decanter, and my goal is simple: help you discover strategies you can actually use, steal what works, get inspired, and find your own unique brand of finfluence. Now let's get into it. Traci, welcome to The Real Finfluencers.
Thank you for having me.
It is so great to spend a little time with you today. You started shooting videos 9 years ago, and I don't want to make this whole interview daunting for other advisors out there who didn't start in 2017. But over the span of that time, almost a decade, what are some of the key things that you have learned?
Well, I think I was really critical and perfectionistic when we started. I felt like everything had to be movie theater quality. Everything had to be perfect. And I learned after a while that it didn't have to be. And some of my most well-received video work has been more off the cuff stuff. And I've had clients and friends respond, oh, it was so cool when you did this, or, oh, I laughed when that happened. And so I think I wish I had started just a little bit kinder to myself and a little bit more open to trying new things earlier, because it's really fun to kind of show myself and not have it all be perfect. And the world has been really accepting even of those mistakes and little bobbles that I've made.
Well, I think it's easy to hear, maybe I should be less of a perfectionist. I think it's harder to do it in practice. It is those putting in the reps, doing the videos over and over, seeing the results that I think help you get there. I say all of that and want to bring you back to a flash in time, because this is video from 8 years ago. And this is when you were just getting started, your oldest videos back on your YouTube channel. And if you're like me, like I hit play on stuff like this and I'm like, oh. But it's always interesting to go back. And then I clicked on the most popular. And these are also these are 6 years old. But I wanted to ask you about some of this content that has really resonated with the audience on YouTube. You've got 3 signs of depression in retirement and picking the right CCRC. Any insight into why these pieces of content resonate?
Well, I think that the retirement depression series resonated because people spend their whole lives looking forward to retirement, saving for it, dreaming about it, thinking about it. It's sort of this big goal. And sometimes they have specific ideas what they want to do, but a lot of times it's just retirement. It's kind of the thing you dream about when you've had a hard day at work and you think, oh, at some point I'm not going to have to do this anymore. I'm going to be able to retire and do what I want to do, even if they don't really know. So I think it's a dream. And I think this idea that, oh, maybe it isn't all sweetness and sunshine and light is a little frightening for people. And I think there's sort of a fear that taps into. And so wanting to learn more about it, figure out, ooh, is that something that might happen to me? Or is that something that's happening to my partner? I think those are the kinds of fears that people express quietly. Maybe they don't share it out loud, but when they have an opportunity to review video on that topic, they're interested because they want to know how to keep it from happening to them.
When you recorded the retirement depression series, there also wasn't a lot of content out there on the topic.
That's true.
I thought it was a brave decision to say, I'm going to be a financial advisor who talks about the scary things. And clearly this resonated with YouTube, but you also found that it resonated with your clients, right?
So the whole idea for the retirement depression series came from a client who had a really extreme experience that absolutely baffled me. And that's why I started inquiring and digging into it even more. And once I had done the videos, actually the first video, I had 3 more clients who subsequently reached out to me and shared that they had experienced retirement depression or were afraid that they were experiencing it at that time and had never talked about it or felt like free to talk about it with me or with anybody. They didn't even really know it was a thing. And so having them feel safe enough to talk to me about it and then also own it and try to address it was such a gift I never expected. And I was so grateful. And it was a privilege to be able to help them, not just financially, but in such a meaningful way in their lives.
Well, it was a powerful series, and it's exciting to see that it was meaningful to so many people out there and, specifically to your clients. I'm popping over on your YouTube channel to your shorts tab, and I bring this up because this is, in the scope of 9 years, this is a relatively new endeavor for you, but you have shorts that have had 83,000 views, 19,000 views. What is it to you that works with short form video?
It took me a little getting used to do short form, but I like it because it's quick, it pops, it's fast, and you really have to just get right to the point. It's moving. And there's an energy when filming shorts that is different from the longer form.
Do you find it's what you are consuming when you're scrolling your phone?
It depends. Sometimes, I guess it's most of what's presented to me. And I have been trying my resolution for 2026 is to try not to just passively let things go by. I think I was someone who, when I was scrolling or whatever, I'd get distracted, but I'd just let the video finish even if I wasn't all that interested, and then just kind of let it go on to the next thing. And I read something about how, your brain is taking this in even if you're not choosing it and not focusing on it and stuff. So, all right, going to get rid of all of that. So I've been trying to be much more intentional about what I watch to the end and what I just swipe on very quickly. And so I will watch some shorts, but I like to follow the links. I like to get to the longer ones, but it's a deliberate effort on my part because, that's not the way the algorithms are running these days.
Yeah. It's not necessarily what's easiest.
It's not easiest.
I want to share your website too, because you have a gorgeous website that I love because you have this background video at the top. And it just brings the whole website to life. You also have this video right at the top where people can start to hear you and see you and get a sense of who you are and who the Meakem Group is. Any insight you can share with other advisors about how you are intentionally using video on your website?
Well, for prospective clients, we are part of our process is to provide them the link to the website and encourage them to check it out and specifically point them to our Smart About Money blog, which is where the video content is. Specifically send them there before even a get acquainted phone call, because the whole point of the get acquainted phone call is to figure out if it's a good fit. And this gives them a lot more information about us and saves me having to explain a lot of things. I can just refer to it instead of having to get into the detail and explain it. So it matters to a lot of folks who are looking for financial advisors to know, why are you doing this? Why are you in this business at all? In my case, one of the reasons I became a financial advisor is because my mom was a financial advisor. And before that, she was a teacher. So education is so central to what we do at my company. And so having clients know that and be prepared with that information ahead of time is really helpful in kind of getting to the meat of what's important in a get acquainted call. And then beyond that, what to expect when we're doing goal planning, what to expect when you're going to be coming into the office. Those videos have helped people know what questions to ask, how to plan, how to prepare, know what the goals are that we're trying to accomplish with each meeting. And I think that matters a lot. I think one of the biggest compliments I have received was a prospective client who we had a get acquainted call, and then she came in for a discovery meeting in the office. And after we had gotten kind of past the chit chat and we're starting to get into the meat of the discovery meeting, she kind of stopped and she's like, well, I just have to say, being in your office feels just like your website felt. And that was it. I was like, okay, good. Like, that's what we want. I want my website to feel like me. It's not just different from other financial advisors, but different in that specific way that it feels the same as walking in our office did. And she felt like our website was approachable and comfortable. And then she felt the same way in our office. And that was great.
So that sets up perfectly the last question I have for you. And that is, how do you gauge the ROI of video marketing?
So this is not a numbers game for me. It's not a dollars and cents. It's more, how much response do I get back? And I don't solicit it. So I'm looking for clients to either send a reply to my newsletter, which has the video in it, or to reference a video when we're having a meeting, or to reach out to me affirmatively related to a video or content, or ask some questions. And so I make note of it. I keep track of it because I want to know what they're responding to. And on average, it kind of varies, but on average, I used to get about 2 responses one way or the other a month. And now we're up to like 7 or 8 a month. And so I'm thinking, oh gosh, does that mean only 7 or 8 people saw it? No, tons of people saw it. It's just those are the 7 or 8 who it occurred to them while they were engaged with us that they mentioned it to us. But every so often I'll get, a massive win, like an email from a client who says, I really loved this video that you did that's targeted toward young adults, and I've shared it with all the young adults in my life. That's great. That's exactly what we want. And I really like it when people think to bring up video that I didn't just release. Maybe it was months ago, but then when we have our annual review or something, then they mention that, or they talk about it, or you did a video about Roth. Can we talk about how that applies in my situation? So I know there's a lot more consumption going on out there that I don't always see. But for me, I measure the ROI with, who talks to me about it.
And that thing that you mentioned about keeping track of it is super important, because when those kind of soft touches come in, it can feel good. But if you're not actually translating that to a notebook or a spreadsheet or keeping it somewhere in a document, it's really hard to get a sense of, I had 2 a month last year and now I'm getting 6 a month, or whatever it is.
Yeah, I think so. It doesn't matter what you count, as long as you count something and you keep track of it, right? Because you need to be able to see, it's not the numbers so much as the trends. So you need to be able to see that. I think that's what matters the most.
Well, remember, if Traci can do it, you can do it too. And if you're looking to build authority and grow your practice with video, but you need a little help, that's what we do at Idea Decanter. Oh, one more thing. If you're not already part of Idea Decanter's Real Finfluencer community, now is your chance to join us. Head to ideadecanter.com/join, and you'll be in. You'll get early access to advisor video tips, invites to exclusive events, and behind-the-scenes insights that you won't find on Google or even on ChatGPT. Whether you're just video curious or already knee-deep in content creation, this is the place to grow your influence with video. Don't miss out. And thanks so much for listening to The Real Finfluencers.